Very, very good afternoon to everybody. I have nothing much to say because whatever was to be said has been conveyed in a very powerful manner by Mr. Bhave and in very, very humorous manner by Mr. Harjit. I am like you, I am a student in HR. I spent my career in operations and supply chain, and I just started practicing HR for last 5 years, still learning. So my purpose of visit to learn more than to teach. So I'll share some of the stories because you already know a lot of things and my previous speakers have spoken so much. So I'll tell you some stories about secure meters, how innovation is put at practice. Is that fine? Yeah? Right. So before I start stories, a sincere thanks to Professor Janesh Shah for giving this opportunity. This place is always very dear to the heart and I enjoy coming here. Right. So I'll tell several stories about how innovation is put to practice at Secure. I remember one of our business planning conference, annual business planning conference taking place in Udaipur to really review the plan for the next year, business coming up and things like that. And as always, sales and marketing people are very smart. I always envy them. They have such a powerful way of expressing things and convincing the management about the issues, about the customer. And they always used to tell us that अगर customer को छींक आती है ना तो हमको pneumonia हो जाना चाहिए. And we used to tell all our employees, this is one of the very powerful sentences in Secure. Everybody have used it for last 25 years कि customer को छींक आती है तो हमको pneumonia हो जाना चाहिए. So in that business planning conference, somehow we were not meeting our sales targets. That is what was projected for the next year. So our group CEO was visibly unhappy about that and he wanted to find out why. So the sales and marketing team, we used to get big business from Eastern region. Somehow Eastern region used to bring higher business than other regions. So they said that this time there was so much of rains and all the fields are full of water. Normally government wanted to put meter at every farmer's place and whatever electricity they consume for their agriculture purpose, they wanted to meter it and then initially it was free but then they wanted to charge it. So, but now all the fields are full of water, so nobody will go to install meters because who will walk in that mud, which is 3 feet deep and install the meters. And then the meter reader would not go, for reading the meter in that water. So 6 months from then, we came up with a meter with a low power radio, LPR. That meter, a meter reader can take it on his cycle. There was a strap, so he can just hang it, and he would just drive the cycle on that road. And the reader would read all the meters which are around the vicinity. And he doesn't have to go to near the meter or anything. He just will drive the cycle around in the area, generally enjoying and come up with the data, So the company, the R&D and the chief executive and the heads of the function, they always had this vision that it is innovation which can actually solve all the problems that we have on hand. The first day of mine in secure meters, and I heard the sentence, there is always a better way of doing things. And that sentence I hear 3 times in a day, every day. And so much so that after hearing for 3-4 years, I also started talking same thing. So every day in every meeting, about 2 to 3, everybody will say that there is always a better way of doing things, We always believe in that. So innovation is driven not by HR alone. I fully agree with the idea which was shared by Mr. Bhave. It is the individual line manager, department, function, heads of the function and the CEO who all put together form HR. It is they who drive things, not alone the HR. So, everybody believes in Secure that we always have to innovate. We always have to, it's not have to, but the culture is like that. And there is always an innovation, there is always new things, new ideas coming up, put into practice. I'll tell another story, very similar story, again innovation. we were not able to sell our very high accuracy meters because those meters are used for testing the master meters which are put on the substations and between the two grids, very, very highly accurate meters. So we wanted to again find out why. So they say when we go to substations, they have to, in order to take out the meters and the current transformers and all those things, they have to take a shutdown. And taking a shutdown, removing those things, and then bringing for testing, doing the testing, all those things takes a long time. And the government will not allow taking shutdown for even half day. Well, I mean, this requires several days. So this particular product cannot be sold. So what we did, we came up with a mobile laboratory. They don't need to bring those things for testing. The laboratory will go there, and while they are connected, just taking an half an hour's break, they can actually test it. It can be tested right in the substation, and the purpose can be served. So another example how a product innovation can happen for solving a problem which is existing today. Couple of more examples I'll give, I mean, which are again related to HR. This was related to product. When we were very small, one of our maintenance chap, engineer, very, very efficient and very loyal person to the company. He knew the maintenance of all the equipments, genset and UPS and all those things. So he was very good at that, very committed person. So he resigned. And so everybody was visibly upset because he was very sincere in his work. One company wanted him to remain with the company, and otherwise there was no issue with him. So he was actually taken to the HR head, and he says, "Boss, I have to leave because my father is in Mumbai, and he is not keeping well, and he has to undergo a treatment. So I will have to relocate to Mumbai." So this was escalated to the managing director and group CEO. So he called him that, why don't we, what if we move you to Mumbai? He said, I am a maintenance person. Mumbai today you don't have any office. There is nobody working. What will I do there? So MD will say it very simply, okay, you start selling the meter. You work with our customers, BEST and BSES and all those companies, and you start selling our meter. He says, I don't know English. I cannot talk so well. I am not, from any angle, I am not a marketing person. I am basically a maintenance person, diploma in electrical engineering. How can I do it? He said, don't worry, we'll support you. Maybe you can join some English speaking classes. So he went there. He joined some English speaking classes. He even today doesn't speak good English, right? But he was supported so well, by people, by his bosses from here. He actually retired, not retired, he resigned recently, not because he was dissatisfied, but he wanted to start his own business. He's still in touch with company. He is working with one of the dealers, so he actually became a regional head, leading about 40 engineers in Western region, doing exceedingly good job. Just because he was supported well, he was groomed, the right kind of talent management actually happened without any definition of being called talent management, but actually it was a talent management. So a maintenance engineer being put as in a marketing is another innovation. This is another story I'll tell you. One more story. I as a part of my role, I meet my internal customers, which is sometimes the NPD, new product development team, sometimes operations, and during their town meeting or monthly meeting, I sometimes go and participate. So about 2 months ago, I was in operations, and that day there was a town meeting. You understand what is town meeting, All the employees, they get together in a big hall like this, and the head of the function, he will make announcement, okay, this year we produce so much against the plan of so much, next month plan is so much. All those things normally happen. But what happened beyond was very, very, exhilarating. What happened? He made an announcement that this month we had 422 Kaizens. So what started happening, was every small group in the production would have a small team, making some smaller improvements, and there is a competition. So when this started, it started with say 22, then 54, like that, Kaizens coming. But as it started growing. Everybody started competing with one another. New teams formed, Nobody asked them to do that. They did on their own. So some 450 Kaizens, I says, my God, And all those, the top teams were, they were recognized right there in the town meeting, which is the biggest kind of recognition, Sometimes money doesn't help, but recognition helps. So that was third story. One more story I will say, and then I will say some underlying things, what is important, what HR can do in terms of fostering the innovation. About 6 years ago, there was a thought process that how do we recognize the innovation that is happening in the organization and the teamwork. Teamwork and innovation is two things which are very, very close to the heart of Securemeter. Securemeter, if it has done so well, it's only because of the innovative way it has come up with, with different products and different solutions for the customer. So, this was a challenge, Okay, how do we recognize good teamwork and good innovation happening in the company? So, this discussion was happening, and the previous day of this discussion, there was a Filmfare Award. So the idea was, why don't we celebrate this, our annual day, like a Filmfare Award, and we make announcements of awards, and team can come and pick up those awards, and those awards can be a teamwork and innovativeness. So for last about 8 years, we have been having this SEMS Day celebration, which happens around 22nd of April. Whichever Friday is closer to 22nd April, we do it. And we have, so exactly, there are nominations, and there is a selection committee. They will actually choose the round of finalists. Those finalists will be announced in the organization. This will be a global team. So people from Winchester or Bristol or Nishoping or Melbourne or Dubai, wherever some good work has happened, or cross-geography teams will be there. So nominations will fly in. There will be a global team of selection committee, which would actually make selection of finalists. There will be 4 finalists in each category. There were about 6 categories. So 24 finalists, and then on the stage on that day, the jury member will come and make announcement like a Filmfare Award. And then in front of about 4,000 people, those awards will be given away. So this is another way of encouraging good innovation and teamwork within the Secure. So these are the stories that I wanted to tell you, and just a few underlying things that I wanted to share with you. It is not HR alone which can do it. It is the whole team of management which needs to do it. HR can definitely support, facilitate, provide a framework, conduct those programs, all those things HR can do. But these things being implemented in its true spirit, being adopted by every employee, is actually not the job of HR alone. It has to come from from everybody in the organization, including the topmost authority. Secondly, there are certain fundamental beliefs of the organization, fundamental values of the organization. If the organization fundamentally doesn't believe in innovation, then it will not happen. It is very important that organization's basic values and beliefs must have this element of innovation, then only it will happen. I fully agree what you said about Bharat Forge. Innovation, so that has to happen. It must be there in the fundamental belief. Then only. So the fundamental belief in Secure that there is always a better way of doing things, being lived by every SEM site. Every SEM site lives it actually, because it becomes like a culture of the organization. So that is second thing. And third thing, demonstration by all the leaders. Even if you keep talking about it, but if leaders don't demonstrate it, then it doesn't work. So not only HR, but all the leaders needs to really practice it. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much.